Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we're playing with Golgari Aggro. Why is it Golgari? Golgari because of black and green. Why Aggro? Because, well, I'm guessing because we got 1, 2, 3, lots of cheap cards to play with. So that means we'll be doing a lot of things early game. If that sounds good to you, then stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I'm your host. This episode will be performed entirely by Sock Puppets, Dr. You Can't Suck It. Yes, thank you. Film before live studio audience. Thank you so much. You Can't Suck It. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck I found over on the Aether Hub, posted by Lucas Giggs, I guess, Lucas G1 GGS, and he called it Golgari Aggro. Now, I had to play it because I do like Golgari. The only thing I don't like about Golgari is that it's kind of stalled out on its interest level. They made one or two, it's got one good Golgari mid-range deck out there. You kind of twiddle around with some of the cards a little bit, but it doesn't really go anywhere. So when they said aggro deck, I'm like, all right, there we go. We're going to actually play something with a bunch of little creatures, come at them strong early, and I'm really hoping that we'll see some good aggro action. All right, so what we're going to do is we take a look at the cards in this deck. We'll talk a little bit how it should work, and then we're going to go out and crush some hopes and dreams. What do we got here today? Let's start at the end. We got Thrun. Thrun can't be countered, which is fantastic against blue decks. Screw you, blue. What has he got? Trample. He's a 5/5. And let's see. Thrun can't be the target of non-green spells or abilities that your opponent controls. So if your opponent is playing something other than green, they can't target him. And during your turn, he's got indestructible, so you can come smacking in. Gix's command you can do any of the two of the following. Put 2 Popo counters on one creature. It gains lifelink. Destroy each creature of power 2 or less, so it takes out token mobs generally. Return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. It doesn't reanimate them, but it brings back to your hand. And each opponent sacrifices a creature with the highest power amongst creatures you control. I've seen this thing take out an entire opponent's side of the board with each creature 2 or less and the highest power creature, which would be one thing with more than 2 for power. It's been really, really good. You can exile target creature or planeswalker, and then you get rid of it out of their graveyard, hand, and library, so never again, which helps to take care of combo decks. In your face, combo decks. Sheoldred punishes people for drawing cards, benefits you for drawing cards. Maelstrom Pulse will destroy any target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent. So if they're loading up on like Heir Apparent or something, this will just take them all out. Unfortunately, when they're playing Heir Apparent, they also play like Raise the Past, in which case then I don't care that you destroy it. They'll just do it, just bring them all back. Tranquil Frillback, he comes out for 3. He's a 3/3 for 3. If you put any other green mana into him, you could also destroy target artifact or enchantment, exile target player's graveyard, suck it reanimators, and gain 3 life. So whatever you got the mana for, you could do. This guy puts out a map. He's got Vigilance 3/4. This guy is Death Touch 2/4, but whenever he attacks, if you have less life than your opponent, you get a Vampire Bebe with lifelink. And if you are, tied for most life, you have more, or while you have the most life or are tied for the most life, you draw a card and lose 1 life. So yeah, you could potentially draw cards as well. This will take out artifacts and enchantments. If you pay 4, you could take out any non-land permanent. This guy will draw a card. Why am I just doing this? Drawing a card and puts out a dude with 3. Creature kill, low-end creature kill, and mana ramp. There you go. I'm supposed to do that fast. So what are we going to do? We're going to put out low-end dudes. We got a bunch of guys that are sort of Moneyball. We're going to control a bunch very specifically and just take out combo decks like crazy. Using Sheoldred to punish people. This guy will be our muscle and a nice board wipe for the end. All right, if worse comes to worse, we got Manlands to help us out. So that's our deck. Before we go out and do our damage, let's do as we do every night. Let's say our prayers and talk about what's best in life. Hands together. Dear Black Queen Sheoldred, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and hear the lamentations of the women. I will play against Eater. So we got a couple of kills. I can throw this guy out next turn, not bad. And we're playing against Selesnya Enchantment. If I take this opportunity, let's just let it go. You can try to get something out and then we'll just kill it before we tries to put something on it. Technically, I should attack the Llanowar Elf. He wouldn't have blocked. Do I have enough to do both? No, I don't. He doesn't have a creature. That was fine. We got some time. Alright, we got one more creature kill. He'll put out something. Really, with that deck, that's what you actually have to do, is you have to kill their little creatures. You're acting like you have an banishing light. So like you have an ossification. Let's we'll pop this. Put her on there. Why not? Alright, Mosswood Knight can Nigget. I've gotten to the point where I say Knigget so much that I can't pronounce Knight correctly anymore. Number 1. Number 2. And number 3. You got more exile on you? Nope, just that jerk. Is there anything in my graveyard? Not at all. 2 mana! Alright, there we go. Hopefully he's running out of things to do. Come on, not land. Oh, look, it's a land, everybody. Well, at least it's a man land. And we win! In your face, Eater B. Jones. Alright, playing against Balor. We'll try 2 mana. Turn off the dragon. Alright, we got what it takes to get out Preacher on turn 2. That's good. Alright, there he is. Now, can we fight against a mono red deck? That's the question. I mean, go for the throat, take that guy out. I mean, he's definitely got more than one guy out. Double strike and trample. There's a boy. He's all thirsty and hungry. Is he chained up? Is he flying his pet candles around him? As one does. These guys deserve to be bigger badasses than they are. Let's see what we can get. That's not terribly awesome. I will just throw out another Llanowar because, you know, why not, right? All right, we've gone wide, which is great. He's a 16, though. What are we dealing with singularly here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at me doing math like a nerd. He's been getting a lot of creatures for his deck. That's fantastic. Has he done anything yet? Nothing. But he just get rid of all of the non-creature spells? That's a problem, huh? All right, I'm down to 5. Three. Well, we just got screwed. Completely out of stuff to do there. All right, he's nervous about coming at me, which is odd. All I have to do is pump up that Manifold Mouse once, and I'm pretty much dead. I mean, you got plenty of cards in your hand. I don't know what you're not doing right now. I'm out of mana, man. You're not going to see what's going on there. That's it. It's weird that he split it so evenly like that. It'll cost me life to be able to get these guys out, so that's not going to happen. All right, no tax. That's all we could do. All right, he's going to shoot. He could attack me and get 1 point through, no problem. All right, I got a guy. Get him. All right, that life gain, I'm gonna climb back up to 20 with this guy right here. You know what I need to do is I got to pump him. Pump. Oh, it was a man land. All right, whatever. You can help me next turn. Oh, I'm not gaining life anymore. All right. And we win. Suck it, mono red. What do we got there? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had 11 next turn. All right, there you go. All right, we're going against Yoda. Finally kicked that green little jerk's butt. I remember as a kid, I thought it'd be super cool to call yourself a Jedi when you were older, because, you know, kids in the future would have no idea what a Jedi was. And man, am I wrong about that. We're getting a whole lot of nothing, aren't we? Higher Sheoldred. Now he's only got to do another 9 more turns of that. Never to be seen again. Is Thrun. Hopefully we keep our pal Thrun alive. Thrun can only be attacked by green instants, I believe it is. The sorcery is a weird kind of hexproof, right? Unless it's on my turn, but then he's got indestructible. No, no. Sacrifice it. All right, we just cleared his board. That's nice. Got some more control right there. I'd like to have Sheoldred back now, please. You can't shoot it, dude. You do not have green. You could always force me to sacrifice. You could do that. Pop. Pop, pop. There's a target for you. Where's my man land? What does it say? Can't attack or block, and it's actually, it's just totally pacified. I can get rid of it with Maelstrom Pulse. Let's do that. That sounds like fun. Look who's been freed! All right, he's down to 6. We can't, if he kills off the preacher, I still can't do anything about it. Destroy all creatures. It's non-targeted, so it's probably going to be the end of poor Thrun. Now I'm thinking that it's not packed well enough. We were doing so good there for a second. Let's go get a man land. Don't kill it. It's a poor land. It's a poor defenseless land. I'm going to say destroy target artifact or enchantment. Was that an artifact? Yes, apparently was. There's another manland. Let's go ahead and kill this one to the death. What's he got? 4 damage target, attacking or blocking creature, citizen's arrest. What a jerk. All right, well, I'm not going to waste my manland on you. All right, well, Thrun can do what Thrun needs to do. You got to get something untargeted. Like that. That's how you do it. What is that thing? Well, let's kill it. Say it's a 5, right? Both of us are being very controlling. All right, at least that's gone. I can tell I'm starting to get bored. But then it just keeps handing me all this control as well, so whatever, man. Whatevs. Oh. At least this guy will... He dies, he'll come back to my hand, I can just play him out again. The self-recursion of the Dreadknight is awesome. Alright, we're loaded up. We still got enough for go for the throat. Alright, nice. And another Redeemer. He just played, how is it not my turn? How do I not have the ability to kill stuff right now? There we go, just suck it. All right, this is how it's done. Let's send them all in. This is your opportunity. There you go. You taken out. Taking out my land. Good for you. And boom, boom. Goes the room. Boom, boom. Victory. I played against Grum. Threes, huh? Not great. Alright, 2, at least I can kill something. That makes me feel better. All right, we get a little guy out of the deal. Little guys are always good. And let's see what else we can grab here. This is a weird mix-up of cards. I could take out an enchantment. Nice. I have to pay an extra, what, 1 for it? You have things in the graveyard? Yeah, I do. So 5, and we can do some awesome stuff. That would be really great. And there's 5 right there. That guy's graveyard. Let it go. That was beautiful. You know how many Squidwards we got rid of there? Look at them all. If I just him, I'd give up. He's trying to pop his graveyard again. And we win. He was tired of that crap. Victory. All right, we're playing against Redemption. Red's Redemption. Keep. Turn off the dragon. Ace of 3s. Got a couple of Sentinels. It's nice when you got those little turd creature kills and you got turds to kill. It's a map, everybody. It's a treasure chest. It's a treasure map, I should say. All right, you coming down? Nope. Hopefully we keep these guys at 2. We can wipe the board of those 2s. That'd be really great. What a jerk. You got more tricks? Sweet googly people. We're going to try this again. I think we could get this guy. He's going to put out one of those super pumps. And that's going to pump everything up. We could go for the throat to kill it. We can wipe the board. Lots of great things we could do. You got some more jerk plays on me there? Pump! And we pull the land. Of course we do. Of course we do. We could do this again. Pump! And it was another land. Ridiculous. Well, shoulder's nothing to sneeze at. Super Restless Cottage. Never to be seen again. And more lands. Was that 3 in a row? 3 in a row. And we win! Suck it, Mr. Redemption. Suck it. All right, playing against Chess. All right, so we'll be able to wipe something out if he puts out a lot of little things. They're all named exactly the same thing. It's a guy. Of course. These shoulders are going to bite it now. Yep. Well, at least we could bring her back. All right, little turd. There you go. That guy is scary. Did you have the mana to take him out again? A lot of that. What's he playing up there? All right, so we got go for the throat. That's just tit for tat. At least you get the Llanowar Elf up. All right, nice. What a jerk. Let's see, our pals there. And in for 3. Ooh, we did it. We did damage. And we win. Suck it, Chess. Suck it to the bank. All right, so here we are with Golgari Aggro, and it was a pretty decent deck. You know, like any good, I don't want to say Platinum Mythic deck, you know, it has its downfalls. And the biggest downfall, in my opinion, is that it doesn't have anything real big to it. I mean, your biggest guy is, I mean, how's Thrun playing a 5/5, not a big guy? I don't know. He's fantastic. But people are able to dance around him. Like, they're able to just, you know, wipe the board. He can still be taken out by untargeted effects and, you know, forces of sacrifice, things like that. There's a lot of things that handle that. They take out Thrun. But he's great, and he's not that expensive. This deck does pretty well. I mean, Sheoldred even. You put out Sheoldred, that should just be evil for everybody, but people can take out Sheoldred like it's nothing nowadays. This deck itself is packed with control, which is one of the things I liked about it as well. The funny part is called Golgari Aggro, yet I thought the control was pretty hardcore on this. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's because there's so many other Golgari decks that don't focus on putting out things like the Sentinel of the Nameless City or the Preacher of the Schism, Dreadknight. You know, it really has kind of got like a Moneyball access to it, where you're looking to get out guys that cost 3. and 3 is the most you want to pay for those guys. The problem is that you want guys that are less than that to also be 3, so you can get to 3 for a much wider, broad thing. This doesn't really do that, but this does focus on a lot more control. It even has a little bit of ramp in there. That's not bad. The card drop from the Dreadknights is pretty decent as well. Gix's command is fantastic if used right, but if you get a bunch of guys to go up beyond the power of 2, then you're like, oh, now what am I supposed to do? Because then you can only force one guy to be gone at a time. Altogether, it's an okay deck. I mean, it's pretty decent. And I don't say okay. It's a good deck. It's just, it lacks flair, right? It doesn't have that big explosion at the end that attracts me to a deck like this normally. All right, so let's get to it. Well, who was the MVP? Who's the most valuable player of this deck? That is difficult. I'm going to go with the Tranquil Frillback. There's only one in here, though. That's the big thing. But you get a 3/3 for 3, which was great, right? And the deal, though, is if you had extra mana, you can destroy target artifacts, you could exile target player graveyard, and you could destroy 4, you gain 4 life. I mean, I got, with 5 mana, I destroyed somebody who's playing like Reanimator. I got rid of the graveyard, and I destroyed one of their overlords. It was fantastic. I mean, the deal is that it's the same price as the Sentinel and the Preacher of the Schism, and it's like, why wouldn't you play with more of the Tranquil Frillbacks than the Sentinels? I mean, this guy lets you go look for lands, possibly, or draw or put popo counters on stuff. Hell no, man. I think Tranquil Frillback is way better than Sentinel, the Nameless City. I mean, he's got Vigilance, and there's a 3/4. I don't know. Maybe he's half decent, but still, I'd probably play at least 2 of these and then 2 of these guys if that's the way we're swinging. Yeah, it was good. I'm going to say, God, how can I say there's only one of you in here. I just thought you had the best value. Everything was going on. I'm going to stand by it. Tranquil Frillback, yeah, you were my hero. You were my MVP for this particular deck. The fact there's only one of you in here is a travesty. All right, let's move on. Was this deck competitive? Barely. I only got 57% out of it. That was rough. So, yeah, I just, that there were so many other decks that just, because this thing is not aggro enough to be aggro. So therefore, you're playing into the mid-game. And there's a lot of decks that by mid-game are more than what this deck can handle. They have guys that are too big. They're coming at you with flying guys or something. It just, they were exiling all your stuff. Yeah, that was, it was more than you could handle. And this deck just couldn't take it down. There wasn't enough, like, enchantment removal into it. I mean, I guess you got to, the 2 Maelstrom Pulse. You got a Frillback, which you needed at least 4 to be able to take out one stupid enchantment. You have the Tear Asunder. You got a single one of that. The things that kill me is that I don't know why people play with Anoint the Affliction. This is such a horrible, horrible card. So, whatevs, man. I'd totally pick the enchantment that does -3/-3 and gets rid of ward. It's a low-end card because of -3/-3, but that anti-ward would really have helped this deck out a ton when I was playing against, like, Selesnya artifacts, which focuses on ward big time. But if they didn't have any ward, I'd just be taking those dudes out like nuts. So anyways, I thought this was a good, okay. So competitive wise, 57%. So not really, just barely. Was this deck fun? Look at that, 1, 2, 3. It definitely has got aggro play as far as the things you can play early on, 1, 2, and 3. I did find myself sucking on 3s and 5s a lot when I had opening hands. Like, I had nothing in the 1s and 2s. It looks like I should have found 1 and 2s a bunch. There's a bunch of them in here. How could I get 3s and 5s in this lineup? I don't know. Sounds like the shuffler was out to get me. So I kind of felt like I wasn't doing a lot in the first hand, and that was biting me. It's funny. I was relying upon my man lands to win games a lot because my other dudes were just getting eliminated like crazy. It was like I was playing control versus control. I was taking out their guys. They were taking out my guys. At the end, it was just me coming in with man lands to win. Like you were playing control. Like I was a control player. That is just ridiculous. So I got to say, as part of being a fun deck, it had its moments, but it wasn't as good as it could have been. Lastly, was this deck interesting? I'm going to say yes, it was. Because, number one, it had Maelstrom Pulse in there. To me, that's an interesting card. I do like it quite a bit. You have to play Golgari to be able to play it. I think it's pretty cool that it has such a wide variety of things. I mean, you can take out non-land permanents and all other that are in play that have the say. The problem is that kind of makes me want to hold on to it for too long, and that's not great. What else was in here that was interesting to me? Thrun was interesting. He never works for me as much as I want. I've had my butt beat by Thrun just over and over again. Yet, whenever I play with him, he seems to just be taken out left and right. So I was interested in playing with Thrun. I was hoping that he would synergize with the rest of this deck well. He just kind of stands on his own. He's kind of like Sheoldred. They kind of come out and are just awesome on their own, but they don't really synergize well with stuff. Sheoldred can if you could force card draw or something. But, yeah, usually she's just out there just nickel and diamond people. So I thought it was interesting just because, yeah, also for being Golgari, it was supposedly Golgari aggro. And the funny part is I did not think of this as being aggro deck, unless you consider your aggro being your control, which we did have a good amount of. But it wasn't in no way near like aggressive aggro creature action. That just wasn't going to happen. All right, so let's add this up. Was this deck competitive? Not particularly. It got number 1 at a tournament somehow. That seems like luck. I don't know, man. Number 2, was this deck fun? It had its times. So I'm not going to give it high scores. I'm not going to mark it down, but still not giving it high scores. Lastly, was this deck interesting? Yeah, it was interesting. Just because it was a Golgari deck, it was focused on lower end creatures. It kind of had a Moneyball feel to it, which did well. I just said I could not keep Sentinels or Preachers out. Those things were getting killed like crazy. Mosswood Dreadknight. Maybe he should have been the MVP because his ability to self-recur was very promising a lot through the game. Yeah, just because it was a weird version of Golgari is the reason why I'm giving it interesting marks. Not highly interesting, though. All right, so let's rate that up. What did we get? Not very competitive, not particularly fun, and not particularly interesting. I'm going to give this deck an A-. I got to give an A- because I picked it up. It's the top deck at a tournament, so therefore it has to be a good deck. Yet I had such a hard time with it. So it's an A- deck, and if you decide to play with this deck, I hope that you have as much fun with it as I did. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the underground secret headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes.